A person writes from Virginia, people often tell me that my doctrinal beliefs, Calvinism, are poison and they insult it inhesitantly. How do we defend our beliefs in a proper way?
Well, just point out that we have to accept the fact that from before the foundation of the world, God just programmed some people to be our minions.
This is our first question. Dr. Horton, do you hear a who?
You know, I've never heard that one before, first of all. Only since I came from the womb have I heard that one. You know, actually, since I hit 50, I hear a lot more than who's. And it's kind of sad.
You know, after 50 years of answering that question, you'd think you'd have a better answer.
I'm whatever RC is.
That was the mic drop right there.
Bob Godfrey just got baptized. Let me say before Bob does.
Wouldn't you know the Baptists would drop it in the water? Yeah.
There, you're in.
He's been converted to sprinkling.
That's all you need. Just a little dip will do you.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I love to tell Roman Catholics that I meet that their fourth pope was actually a Protestant. And
so was their first one.
yes.
What is the Reformed view of speaking in tongues?
Nantamanid groiw loiw yn ymdroesi tua'r pant. Rhwng y brwyn yn sisial gani o'n abani fel yna. My brother here says...
Very good. Well, I have one more very important question for you, Dr. Lawson. Yeah.
You can move back.
Is the Bible sufficient for the preacher's wardrobe? I mean, is there a chapter and verse that says you have to wear a white shirt and a striped tie?
Some things are so obvious. And is reasonably implied, it need not even be put into the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's how the Presbyterians get infant baptism.
Grant, I guess, can I ask you a question real quick? Do you think that Paedo communion, Presbyterian theology has any effect on society whatsoever?
There's so few people that believe that, no.
What about Paedo baptism?
Burn.
Yeah, I think it can. I think it has historically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's had a bad effect on society. If you're a good Baptist, you got to believe that, though, right?
Well, just if you're a Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I think that we
should clip that. We should clip that.
If you're a Christian,
clip that and
put it on a T-shirt.
And let's send that around the web.
I think that's a.
That was an indicative statement.
And you move from one truth that crystallizes to the next truth, but you're putting bricks in a wall. And it's not just a one brick wall. It's multiple texts and multiple... in his dreams. He's always trying to do an impression of me. So
you were saying?
What would make a Calvinistic evangelist even get up in the morning when he knows that nothing he does will affect the outcome of his work?
Guaranteed success.
And so he says, and you will eat the plants of the field. To be vegetarian, of course, is part of the curse. Sorry, I'm just biblical. Romans 14:3 says, he who is weak in faith eats vegetables only. So, sorry, just quoting the Bible.
How were the people of the Old Testament saved?
By an altar call? Next question.
You're done. And when you talk about God's permitting it, that's a weak answer, really, because he does more than permit it. But at
He
least,
just might get vaporized.
At the very least.
Years ago, and I had just begun preaching in the pulpit at St. Andrews, and I was very young, and RC didn't want me to use any notes.
This is one of those things where when you have a talk, you have a finite time. You'd love to address all of the theological ramifications of your talk, but there's a clock ticking down right in front of you.
I just ignore the clock usually.
I've seen that before.
Every Sunday.
That's why you need to use notes.
Shall I?
You just can't circle the airport and never land.
Physician, heal us.
Too many notes.
I've heard of some preachers that even when they use notes, they go a little long.
Yeah, I wonder who that would be.
He wears red ties.
Yeah.
They're going to want to go to bed at some point tonight.
I think we have drifted.
What'd you call it up top? What was it? A parish? What was it? You called
Carson.
me?
You're a parson.
So in addition to my function as a pastor or a parson, right? I got to pull that old term you just threw at me.
They didn't even have the Hammond B3 back then.
No, there wasn't no Hammond B3. No, Maybe some banjos. Maybe they tuned up on a banjo or two.
Maybe that's what the B stands for.
Wow.
And you said you rarely spend 5 minutes making an outline.
Yeah.
And can I just say, sometimes it shows. But
you can say that. You
in fact,
say that.
Well, job security. Yeah, no, in fact, my favorite, you did a sermon once from Matthew 27 on the miracles that occurred during the crucifixion. And you had doubly alliterated every point. There were like 6 or 7 points. I forget how many miracles there were, but I do remember your outline because it had to do with the tearing of the curtain in the tabernacle, and you called that sanctuary desecration, and then there was the supernatural darkness, and when you got to the earthquake, you called it soil disturbance.
Well,
yeah.
That was the best I could do with an SD for an earthquake. But
no, you could have said.
You know, I have to say the Lord has forgiven me for that.
No, he hasn't, because whoever edited that part of your commentary left it in there. If you look at the Matthew commentary on that passage, it's right there, soil disturbance.
I'm the only one who edits the commentaries.
Okay.
But, you know, you could only think of that one illustration, because that's a very, I used to try to, I know you could. But I used to do that, but it only takes me it just comes quick. And eventually I thought, I don't want people getting caught up in it. It helps in a commentary.
Right.
Because you're breaking sections out, but...
If you guys use that, make it seismic disturbance or something. Anyway.
Yeah, well, why didn't I think of that? See?
So, how many texts in the Old Testament explicitly name the new covenant? There's one, Jeremiah 31. It's the only place where that phrase is used, I think. How many texts in the Old Testament explicitly refer to the future royal ruler as a Messiah? There's one that's undisputed, Daniel 9:25. How many texts in the Old Testament say that the seed of the woman is going to crush the head of the serpent? There's one, Genesis 3:15. And I think I would want to ask Doug, how many texts in the whole Bible say we should baptize babies?
Or give them communion.
Don't respond to that. Yeah.
You can misunderstand baptism or something like that, and
those we call errors, not heresies. I mean, there's a difference between error and heresy. Heresy is something that strikes at the very heart of the gospel and of the truth, yeah.
Should I just end this before it gets nasty?
This is not fair. I'm outnumbered here. It's hard to be a true teacher.
Oh, yes. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Clapton. Voiced him in twice? Really? Okay. Sheryl Crow. Dude, what are you trying to do to me? Yeah. That was in the club. This paradise. They got the situation they got me facing. I can never know my life. I was raised by the streets, so I gotta be down with the hood fool. Too much television got me hooding, chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got a 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a low-down gangster set, triple banger. Homies.
What just happened?
Now that we are thoroughly equipped.
Now, in saying that, Omaha, I'm reminded of the account of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and their ordeal in the fiery furnace in Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 through 18. Let me read that real quick.
I thought you were going to say a bad Negro. I swear I thought Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. That you wasn't going you weren't going to give him that one?
Bruh,
see now,
why does that
look?
Why does that sound like some 70s black exploitation film title? I feel like I should cue up the theme from Shaft.
Right.
Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro.
Just so you know, just the context of the Canadian American, I think.
Yeah, no, correct me.
Our impression of Americans is you sue everybody no matter what they do. Like it just. It's like you looked at me the wrong way in the grocery store. I'm gonna go after you. It's just, that's a Canadian impression of our American neighbors.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Aaron, how has that landed on you as you have heard from and heard about the different responses of Christians and Christian leaders, both in Canada and America, that have suggested, well, you know what, this doesn't have to be this way. James could get out. He ought to sign it. He should never have disobeyed this ordinance. And how's that landing on you, and what are your thoughts on it?
I was listening to a podcast and a wise man said, you just have to learn to say, I don't care.
That's helpful.
How many of you were here last year? Okay, so you'll be ready for this next question. Since God is slow to anger and patient, then why, when man first sinned, was his wrath and punishment so severe and long-lasting?
Time out. That God's punishment for Adam was so severe. What's wrong with you people? I'm serious. I mean, this is what's wrong with the Christian church today. We don't know who God is, and we don't know who we are. The question is, why wasn't it infinitely more severe? If we have any understanding of our sin and any understanding of who God is, that's the question, isn't it? I wanted to make sure this one was lively and not boring like the last time we had the Q&A.
What is the minimum amount of gospel truth that must be known and believed in order to be saved?
I'm going to jump in here before Dr. Sproul unleashes his wrath.
Is it a sin to be angry with God?
What's wrong with you people?
I'm worried to ask this question. Dr. Sproul, take a sip of Diet Coke. How can we overcome the view that the Old Testament portrays an angry, unloving, non-gracious God?
Can I just? We're finishing the book of Revelation at our church this Lord's Day, and anyone who believes that the God on the left side of the book is the angry guy, and the God on the right side of the book is, meek and gracious, and read all the way to the right side of the book.
At the same time, though, as I say that, I realize also that there are those who listen to us who want us to fail. People who, perhaps out of a spirit of envy or jealousy or spitefulness, are wishing the worst for you, not your best. They're wishing the worst for you. And if that's you, then I have something for you in the form of a little jingle I've pinned that I trust will be of some encouragement to you. Okay, Omaha, you ready?
Yes, do it.
Let me clear my throat. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Doom, 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 doom. Let your haters be your motivators. They're just upset that they're not more like you. Let your haters be your motivators. Pay them no mind, keep doing what you do. Let your haters be your motivators. If they come at you, just move right on past. Let your haters be your motivators and keep listening to the Just Thinking podcast. V, what you think? That's for our haters, bro. That's for our haters, and that's for our listeners who have haters.
Man. That's pretty good.
That's for our haters, and that's for our listeners who have haters.
It's about 500,000 a piece.
A piece. Yeah. And how much time potentially in jail?
5 years in jail.
So about a $500,000, 5 years in jail, what you guys could be facing individually.
Yes.
And then how much is your church facing in fines right now?
Do you know?
60 million? About 60 million?
About 60 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might have to have a garage sale.
Standing on the word of scripture. If you are to be standing with you, never a beacon on the bunch. We ain't going nowhere.
The 5-solar mic holder, symbol uses that pecator, bipolar. I'm hyped to show you a glass raised to those names of guys who show up in black shades and gold chains. Constantly we're conquering an audience that was hostile. Sovereignly our God would give guardians of the gospel. We start out with Augustine, a pagan indeed, till he opened Romans when the